is not really what this exoskeleton can do. No one can, but this is probably the best integrated hip and knee exoskeleton you can buy on the consumer market today. Welcome to my review of the DNSYS Boostsuit ZX1 knee hip sync exoskeleton. That's a really long name. Alright, before we get to the DNSYS Boostsuit ZX1, let me talk a little bit about the DNSYS Z1 and X1. The Z1, the world's first mass-produced consumer knee exoskeleton, was released about a year ago. It has been hugely successful since launch, and it ranked as the best knee exoskeleton in my previous knee and hip exoskeleton buying guide video. If you haven't watched the video yet, definitely go check it out. It's one of the most unbiased and informative guides for choosing a consumer exoskeleton. The X1 was released about 2 years ago. It's DNSYS' first consumer hip exoskeleton, and the company has continued refining while listening to real user feedback. To this day, it's still one of the best hip assist exoskeletons on the market. So judging from the name ZX1, you're probably thinking, whoa, didn't they just combine these two products and call it Boostsuit? But after using it for quite some time, I feel it's much more than simply putting 1 + 1 together. So in this video, I'll focus on the specific features of the ZX1, along with upgrades and performance improvements compared to the Z1 and X1. I also use my self-developed 10-point scoring matrix to review this product. For me, one of my favorite features is the modular design. You can take it apart and reconfigure just like Lego, easily mixing and matching different modules depending on your needs. I'll talk more about that later in this video, so be sure to stick around till the end. Now, without further ado, oh my god, just look at those codes. It looks like it's about to pour. Let's head indoors. Oh, first of course, ease of use, wearability. So it comes with 2 independent boxes. One is for the new Z1 and the other is for the X1. And we start with the X1. Alright, let's wear it. Snap the colors here. You tighten a little bit if you feel it's too loose, and then we thread this belt through this battery pouch to tidy everything up. Yeah, looks neat, right? And now let's wear the Z1 knee module. It's designed for left and right sides separately. We start with the right. So first we connect using the blade connector. I have noticed that we've got 3 support plates that are repositioned to the rear, right? And there's 1 pad at the front. Now let's just wheel it. And there's a hook on the front pad here and just latch it on the back. We readjust a little bit. We can tighten it a little bit. Make sure it sits right in the middle. And then we just strap this calf belt. Now for the thigh strap, right? For this part, you can leave it unstrapped or strap it on. Alright, I prefer strap it on. And then we connect the linkage. And notice here, there is also Velcro on it. We can just attach here. And then we just stick them, press down the Velcro to secure them. That's for the right leg. And then repeat for the left side. Alright, and that's it, super easy. And now let's power on the device. We see the battery here. We just press and hold this power button to turn it on. You can see the Z1 is on, but the X1 is still off. We have to press and hold the X1 to turn it on, and we have to activate them separately. For the Z1, double tap the button on the battery module here. Wow, you can immediately feel the power kicks in. And then the X1. Yep, we press the button on the Z1 to adjust its power level, and you can adjust the X1's power separately too. Alright, and that's the entire wearing and the startup process. It's really easy to operate. Everything feels smooth, and there aren't any parts that feel awkward or require special attention. Even if you are new to the device, after just 1 or 2 tries, you'll quickly get familiar with it. And for this category, I would definitely rate it 8 out of 10. And now that we've got it done, let's talk a little bit about what's new in the upgraded ZX1 system. Where DNSYS has clearly refined the design to make the two exoskeletons work together much more seamlessly. The upgraded ZX1 system combines the updated X1 hip exoskeleton with the revamped Z1 knee module, delivering synchronized assistance for both the hip and knee joints. The new X1 features a redesigned WISA support that enables both the electrical and mechanical connection with the Z1. Equipped with the blade connector and a new Power Plus power sharing system, it can supply power to both the Z1 and X1 from a single battery. As for the new Z1, the previous front-mounted middle thigh plate has been relocated, replacing the old 1 front 2 rear hand plate layout with 3 rear-mounted support plates. A newly designed soft front thigh panel improves wearing comfort, while the redesigned calf strap transfers power more directly to the leg for even better assistance. And when operating in synchronized hip knee mode, the X1 and Z1 are connected both electrically and mechanically. DNSYS also redesigned the Z1's front thigh panel with Velcro and fastening straps that attach directly to the X1's leg frame, enabling coordinated assistance. Unlike traditional rigid mechanical linkages, this flexible strap-based design is lighter, easier to assemble, and should allow a small amount of natural leg movement for greater comfort during use. But how does it actually perform in the real world? And for this power and performance category, it carries the highest weight in my scoring matrix at 25%. Because everything comes down to one simple question: does it actually reduce fatigue, relieve knee stress, and make walking easier? On paper, DNSYS claims quite a few improvements. I just put them up on the screen. Well, I can't personally verify every one of these numbers, but I can definitely tell you how it feels in real-world use. When walking on flat pavement, the ZX1's coordinate hip and knee assistance feels smooth and natural, without any walk restriction. The hip module helps push the legs forward, reducing fatigue during long walks, while the knee module cushions each step to absorb impact. Over time, I noticed significantly less soreness in my quadriceps and knees compared to a single joint system, with fatigue building up much more slowly. The air gate sensors also adjust assistance in real time, whether I'm strolling casually or walking at a faster pace. Even during light jogging, it increases cushioning and forward propulsion while still maintaining good mobility thanks to its flexibility linkage design. It's really not built for sprinting, but if you want to push it, you still can. Now, squatting is actually a fun one. Many exoskeletons I've tested don't even support squatting properly. This is where the upgraded Z1 knee module really shines. The redesigned structure fits the legs much more ergonomically while delivering up to 44 pounds of vertical lifting force to support your body weight during squats. The synchronized hip and knee assistance also helps lift your back up smoothly, significantly reducing knee stress, even after repeated deep squats, with virtually no delay between the two joints. Ascending and descending stairs are among the most demanding movements for the knees, and the ZX1's dual joint assistance is designed specifically for both scenarios. When climbing stairs, the ZX1 delivers up to 1800 watts of peak assistance with around 50% foreleg support, helping power each upward step. At the same time, the hip module assists in driving the thigh forward, reducing the effort needed to lift your body. When going downstairs, the system switches to an impact absorb mode that offsets gravity and reduces knee joint pressure by contouring up to 200% of the user's body weight, significantly lowering the force transferred to the knees. This is where a well-engineered exoskeleton really shows its value. I've tested this on a very steep staircase multiple times, and I finished with almost no knee tightness afterward, a huge difference compared to the burning fatigue I normally feel without assistance. I was already impressed by the previous Z1 knee module. It was, in my opinion, one of the best on the market, and now it's gotten even better. The synchronized power distribution between the hip and knee also helps prevent uneven muscle loading. With the standalone knee exoskeletons, the hips often end up compensating during long stair climbs, but the ZX1's integrated dual joint design largely eliminates that issue. And one thing I really have to highlight is the modular design. This is where the ZX1 system becomes much more flexible in real-world use. For example, if I'm out hiking or working outdoors, and my cameraman John starts feeling knee fatigue, I can literally just detach the Z1 and let him use it immediately. There's no complicated setup or tools required. It's designed to be quickly reconfigured on the spot. Even more importantly, the system supports both single leg and dual leg operation, which gives you a lot of freedom depending on the situation. If you only need assistance on one side due to injury or fatigue, you don't have to wear the full setup. You can simply run in a half configuration and still get meaningful support. And if you need full lower body assistance, you can switch back to dual leg mode just as easily. This kind of module flexibility makes a big difference in practical use cases, especially for people working in the field or moving between different users. Instead of being a fixed, one-purpose device, the ZX1 becomes more like a shared tool that adapts to different needs. In that sense, it's not just about performance, it's also about how easily it fits into real workflows in outdoor or professional environments. So overall, I would rate power and performance 9 out of 10. Even when both modules are working together, I never felt that interfered with each other or restricted my movement. Compared to wearing either module on its own, the combined system feels more comfortable, delivers power more directly, and provides noticeably strong assistance. While I cannot verify DNSYS official performance figures, I can confidently say that it feels more powerful than using either exoskeleton individually. Now, for the other categories. Regarding design and build quality, the supporting structure uses aerospace-grade aluminum alloy and carbon fiber, with a robust take-forward finish. The inner lining combines breathable, skin-friendly fabric with anti-slip silicone straps, while the synchronized linkage uses high-strength Velcro. The entire system is rated IP54 for dust and water resistance. Overall, the combination of rigid and soft materials is very well thought out. It delivers strong durability while still maintaining wearing comfort, making it well suited for outdoor use. Honestly, this is really well built. Even though it's still a prototype, I would easily rate it 9 out of 10. It genuinely feels like a product designed to last. Now, in terms of portability, it currently comes in 2 separate boxes, one for the X1 and one for the Z1. If you buy the full ZX1 bundle, it can be a little bit inconvenient to carry 2 boxes. However, if you are only using a single exoskeleton, which will be the case for most users, it's actually quite manageable. And the Z1 knee module is the lightest I've used so far. That said, I would still prefer if DNSYS offered a single, unified box for the ZX1 bundle in the future, which would make overall portability much better. For the remaining criteria, battery life is excellent. The ZX1 used the upgraded Power Plus high-density turn-rate lithium battery shared between both modules, featuring a built-in BMS and KERS regenerative energy recovery when working downhill. DNSYS claims up to 15 km of range in eco mode on flat terrain, and in my own use, I could easily go 2 or even 3 days on a single charge. As for the software, it comes with a companion app, but honestly, I rarely use it. When I'm outdoors, I'm focused on walking and enjoying the scenery, not checking settings on my phone. Regarding value for money, the ZX1 is currently only available via Makuki in Japan. So that's the price reference I'm using. Interestingly, even if you buy the X1 and Z1 separately with the individual discounts, it still costs more than getting the full ZX1 bundle. The bundle also includes the integrated power sharing system and linkage accessories. So for users who want full lower body assistance, the ZX1 package offers significantly better value than buying the 2 systems separately. I would give value for money 8 out of 10. Alright, that's the review of the Boostsuit ZX1. Overall, I would rate 8.5 out of 10. If I had to point out a few downsides, one would be the power on process. I wish you could just press a single button to start both the Z1 and X1, instead of activating them separately. Though DNSYS has already mentioned this will be optimized in a future update. Another area is portability. I'd like to see a more integrated carrying solution and ideally a slightly lighter overall setup. But honestly, this is probably the best hip and knee exoskeleton on the market right now. The hip and knee modules work together extremely smoothly, and after just a few minutes, you almost stop thinking about assistance itself. What stood out most wasn't the motors, it was how much fresher my legs and knees felt afterward. While many brands are still focused on standalone systems, especially knee-only exoskeletons, DNSYS has clearly taken the next step with a truly integrated dual-joint design. So if you're looking for full lower body assistance, the ZX1 is easily one of the most complete and refined consumer exoskeletons I've tested so far. And if you are interested in it, please check the link in the description to learn more. Thanks for watching, I'm Sammy. See you in the next one. Bye bye.